In the morning when I rise, give me Jesus.
Good morning. Yesterday we saw scripture that helps to clarify one of my real hot buttons in terms of misunderstanding and wrong teaching from the religious church as a whole. The religious church often says God is sovereign, and so everything that happens at the hand of God. God either does it or he allows it for your benefit. Well, that is just not the truth, and we saw scripture yesterday that helped to show that God's not just doing everything. He's not just pulling strings. Jesus said, follow me. Why would he have said, follow me, if it's not possible to not follow him? Oh, Jesus said, in this world you will have trouble. Why is that? Because in this world, most people do not follow Jesus according to his wisdom into rich, abundant life. But that's what we're encouraged to do. Why did John say the whole world's under the power of the evil one? Because most people in the world choose to follow the evil one, choose to be God themselves instead of following Jesus into rich, abundant life, born out of living from the kingdom, born out of hearing the voice of God and following his wisdom into rich, abundant life. Well, quit thinking that God's the one doing or even allowing bad things to happen in your life. What he allows is he allows you to choose, and unfortunately most people are not choosing to follow him. And so we do have trouble in this world, and so the world is under the power of the evil one because most people embrace his teachings of lie and teachings of greed. And we see a parable today that talks about that. We're in Luke, and it's chapter 12, and we're going to read today verses 16 through 21. And they say this: Jesus tells a parable. The land of a rich man was very productive. And so he began reasoning to himself, saying, what shall I do, since I have no place to store all of my crops? Then he said, I know what I'll do. I will tear down my barns, and I will build bigger ones, and there I will store all of my grain and all of my goods. And I will say to my soul, soul, you have many goods laid up for many years to come. So take your ease, eat, drink, and be merry. But God said to him, you fool, this very night your soul is required of you, and now who will own what you have prepared? So is the man who stores up treasure for himself and is not rich towards God. We need to be rich towards God. That's how we step into abundant life. When we follow the wisdom of God, there's no greed involved. Oh, we benefit because God knows what you need and he provides it. But when you're hoarding, when you're greedy and you're holding on to things with a tight fist, then that's not of the Lord, and the enemy gets to mess with you. My wife and I went on a mission trip to Africa one time, and one of the things that we did while we were there is I drove a tractor to plow over 10 acres of land for planting peanuts and corn. We were doing that because the crop was intended for the widows and the orphans in those areas. Well, he showed us his warehouse, and his warehouse was full of huge bags of peanuts from years past that he was storing up, and they were full of bugs and roaches. They had mold and mildew. They were not good for anybody for anything. See, that's what happens when you think that you're benefiting yourself, storing up for the future. Oh my goodness, moth will come in and eat it. There's a good reason why Jesus said, pray like this: give us today our daily bread. See, greed says, give us everything we need for the rest of our lives. But God says, I know what you need, and I'll provide it day by day. Lord, give us today our daily bread. Let that be your prayer. Let greed be far from you. Behold, a God who loves you and is more than able to provide everything you need for life and godliness, is what Peter tells us. God bless you as you rest in the abundance of God that He has for you, that's all available in the grace that He provides by the love that He has for you. I look forward to being with you again tomorrow. I'll see you.
Give me Jesus. Give me Jesus.